Hi, and welcome to the Yarn Habit Geek podcast. My name is Laura. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Yarn Habit Geek. There is also a Ravelry group for the podcast, so let's get started. Alright, whips of the week. I went a little crazy during the week working on whips. So let's get started with the whips I worked on during the week after last week's episode. First up, the Wonder Woman wrap. I didn't get much done. I just got a few rows in. But I am technically nearing. Actually, I think I got about 5 rows left of this yellow section before I get to go on to the next section. So, hopefully, I am really hoping I can get through during this week's whip of the during this week for working on it, so it can be on the next section by next week. And next whip, you've seen it before, the Tentu Riku scarf. I have basically finished 5 total repeats, and I'm currently working on number 6. And actually, I can tell that you can see the stitching better from my weird new filming location. Because, let's face it, I'm filming in this spot because it was just, all the whips can actually fit on where I'm filming. So, basically now you can see a little better of the stitch definition. Although I do have to be careful because I have 2 lights on, which is good, but yeah. So, I'm on repeat number 6. I'm on the 6th repeat of the pattern, and like I said, hoping to get this done before Fanex. Alright, next. Now, if I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the show notes, which is actually, you got my list of the order I'm showing these all in. Next up is a very, this was actually a project I started on, I think, last year, but I just haven't gotten much work done on it, so I decided to work on it actually yesterday, and I got a good few rows in it, but it's gonna take a while. It is a mermaid lap gown, but I am actually doing it in a Harley Quinn theme pattern. Soon I'm gonna be weaving in all the ends before I work on the next couple of rows, which will eventually lead to rounds. So that's it for the mermaid lap gown. That is Harley Quinn themed. Next up, something I actually haven't worked on in a little bit, because I got to work on it actually on Monday, which are the Grinch socks. So, wasn't much, but not much done, but I got a good chunk of this color section done, and I'm almost on the next stripe section. So, yay! But I love how these are turning out. And then I realized I actually saved the pattern that uses this actual sock yarn from the people who made the yarn. So I will probably buy another hank of yarn of the Grinch colorway they have and make the actual socks that go along with the pattern. Alright, next up, I didn't get much done into it. I just finished the next couple of rows in it, but it is my Candy Witch fingerless gloves. So I finished, basically I just got a few rounds in, and I'm now on a round that I get to put in the next little candy drop. So yeah, hopefully I can get more work done on this. So that way I can free up the needles so I can work on something from Whip Limbo from the same book I used the pattern from, which is a pair of socks. So yay. Alright. Next up in the whips, which I finally got back to working on, is considering, well, this pattern showed up on my Facebook, I think about last year, or I forget how many months ago, but it's the At Walker. Well, I call it an At, but I know it's AT-AT from Star Wars, and it's a cute little amigurumi. I got the head complete. I just need to sew on the little cannons, and I gotta finish sewing up the body, which the pieces are in a pile on my little work desk, which right now I don't want to move the pile because it's in a very specific order, so that way I don't have to mark them all up to let me know what pattern, but the head's on. Now, in the pattern, it told me to use felt for the little eye shines. I used fabric paint because it was so much easier to do. And plus, I had a bottle of white fabric paint that I used for something you're going to see in the finished objects, which I only have one. And last up in whips of the week is something I am really in crunch mode to finish for Fan Expo. Now, it's not much detail done, but I am actually making Arrow from Arrow to give to Stephen and Mel, because I think it was last year for the MarchCon I made Firestorm for Robbie and Mel because he was a guest. So it's like, you know what, I can't, basically, if I give one to one cousin, I gotta give one to the other as well. So they're both gonna have their own. Like, Fan Expo just got a whole bunch of guests I've been wanting to meet, and it's like, that just basically most of my money is gonna end up going to that con, unless, you know, I reserve myself just to go in line, say hi, get some selfies. That's it. Alright, and that is it for this week's Whips of the Week. Let's get on to the next section, shall we? Alright, so, finish object time. Only one, and it is part of my little secret project, and I am now, you know, showing them now as I finish them, but they're all going to the same person. And it's Scott McNeil. Yeah. Weirdly, I had planned this, like, when I first started making amigurumis. So, yeah. So I had the designs all done, and then saw Scott at the Transformers convention. The beard now, which is, but let's get a little closer on the detail. Now, I use fabric paint for the little tiny details because it'd be weird, but let's face it, I had to get the tattoo on there as well because, and let's face it, I am a detailist. And his cowboy hat. So yeah. And the boots. Although you won't be able to tell they're boots. But let's face it, the boot cuts. So. And the fact that I had planned to make this for myself. Like, basically that's how why I did the pattern, was for myself. But now going to Scott. So Scott's getting a Scott McNeil. So basically Scott's getting a little version of himself. That's it for this week's finished objects. We got one more segment, and that'll be it. So let's get on to the last segment, shall we? Alright, on to our last segment, which is Stash Edition. So basically, last weekend, went to Michael's, because I had a coupon. I had a 50% off coupon, and then I saw the yarn deals, which was a buy two, get one for equal or less price for free. So I bought more of this Loops and Thread Shabby in the cranberry for my Technicolor house coat that Molly Weasley wears in the Chamber of Secrets. And I realized I did not show how much I worked on it for the whips of the week, but I will hopefully remember to show it next week's episode, because hopefully by next week I will have part of it done. So these are just in case I didn't, well, let's face it, it's always just in case I run out of the first one, because so that way I can get to working on the rest of it. So and honestly, I just love how it's so, I just love the color of it, because it really matches what was used on the film. The pattern calls for using the knit picks in the blush, but for me, I decided to go with this because it's more important for me to color match when I do something for me or any other cosplayer that wants a cosplay knit piece. And next up from the Yarn Stash Editions is more of the Patton's Classic Wool Bulky for the Tented Riku scarf, because I'm actually on the tail end of running low on the current ball I'm on, so getting the deal on these was perfect. So got more of these. So that is it for this week's episode. Hopefully I will lessen how much whips I work on during this week. Hopefully I can just focus on possibly one or two, but we all know that's not going to happen. I will tend to work on, well, let's face it, I tend to work on so many projects in 1 week that possibly maybe one will get done. But that is it for this week. I will see you all next week, and I will actually be spending this weekend actually updating the Ravelry group with all my show notes, because I have forgotten to do that for I forget how many weeks, but this weekend it's gonna be show note palooza on the Ravelry group. So that is it. Have fun for the rest of the week. I will see you all next Wednesday. Stay crafty.